Hi guys, John from the Startup Shop. Just a quick video on a question that we get asked kind of fairly often as well is when do we set up a holding company or do I need a holding company? Like what we would normally say to clients is if you are setting up a limited company and you think that there's a possibility that in 5 or 7 or 10 years that you hope to get an exit from this limited company or you hope to get investors on board, we would be saying to clients to set up the limited company as soon as possible. The costs of a holding company, dormant holding company annually are minimum a couple of £100, but that holding company could save you a lot of money in years time, in down the line, 5, 10 years time. There's a tax appeals committee or tax appeals case that I'll put in the comments where a company had a potential sale. They set up a holding company, did a share for share buyback, did everything that they thought was correct, so that they wouldn't have to pay corporation tax or capital gains tax of, I think it was 350 or 400,000. The revenue challenged it, and the tax appeals committee found in favour of the revenue because that person didn't have his paperwork correct for when he set up the holding company. Whereas if he set that holding company up a year, 2 years, 4 years before he did the exit, he would have saved 3 or 400,000 in tax. So we would normally say to clients, right, if you think you're going to have an exit, set the holding company up as soon as possible. The benefit of having the holding company in place is that if you have shares in your individual name, you will pay capital gains tax that year. If you have shares in the company name, you will pay no capital gains tax. The money will go to your holding company and it will stay there until you decide what you want to do with it. You can, invest in other companies, set up other companies, and you can use that money for other projects and build your personal wealth. What we would say to clients is this: two things. One is, yes, set up a holding company, but also keep some shares in your own name, because it's well and good the company, a holding company, getting 2 million, 3 million, 5 million, whatever they're getting. But then you, the director of the company who's put blood, sweat and tears into getting this company to a particular position of value, how do you then get money from that company? So if you have 100% shares in your holding company and you then want to take money out of that company, you have to pay income tax, PAYE, PRSI, and all the usual bits and pieces. So we would say to clients, keep 90% of the shares in your holding company and keep 10% of the shares minimum, or 5% of the shares minimum, in your individual name. 5% in your name, 5% in your wife's name, or 5% in the other shareholder's name, or whatever. And the reason for this is because if you've got an exit, you can benefit if you meet particular requirements on the entrepreneurial tax relief. So you will, if you benefit for the entrepreneurial tax relief, you will pay 10% CGT on the first million, and then anything after that is 33%. So that's why, or how, what we would say to clients is keep a chunk of money, keep a chunk of shares in your holding company's name, but also keep some shares in your own name so that you would personally benefit from the share or from the sale. Hopefully you found this helpful. If you have any queries or questions, drop us a comment or a DM and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. Thanks a million. Take care. Bye.